So I'm Jordi Vaquer, and I'm a professional of international relations. I've had a very diverse career. I've worked in public administration, I've worked in a think tank, in philanthropy. I've got an academic training in international relations. I've also been commenting on international media. And so I'm someone who's fascinated with this international world, and yes, someone who's fascinated with cities. And the opportunity to have this passion combined with the politics of it, with cities being a space for innovation, being a crucial space, especially large metropolises, for the big challenges of mankind. They tend to be much more far-sighted, long-term oriented, and they have to, because they have to plan their systems for 10, 20, 30 years. So I think some of the best thinking, some of the best political action is found nowadays in cities. Cities are bigger than their size in many ways. They're connectors, they're innovators, they're often leaders, they're often the first in understanding and in experiencing the new trends in the world. They're also potentially spaces of solution. In urban spaces, the multiplier effect is huge. Look, there is a challenge of growth. Some of these large cities are adding the equivalent to a mid-sized city every year in terms of population, and you have to build the schools, the infrastructure, everything else in time. Another one is resilience in front of these complex crises that are hitting cities the world over. Of course, there's the climate emergency, but there's also the pandemic, there's also the food crisis ongoing, energy prices, and many others that we don't even foresee. Resilience of cities is a key element for their success. A third one is governing the digital revolution. The digital revolution is indispensable to govern these huge agglomerations. They're unprecedented in our history, and we need technology, but at the same time, technology can create new divides, new challenges that need to be governed also at local space. And there is a challenge of participation and voice. Local governments take pride in being the closest level to the person, to the citizen, to people. In fact, when a city is 5 or 10 million, you can no longer say this. You have to come up with much better ways of understanding the perspectives of and the experiences of half the population, women, who are often underrepresented in city planning and city government, or people that experience a city very differently, such as people with disability, or children, or people who live and move differently in the city. Those need to be an integral part of how cities are planned or are governed. As a Secretary General, what I see as my biggest challenge, the biggest challenge of my team, is to turn all these exchange, all this cooperation, all these international meetings and indicators and everything else into tangible impacts in the cities, in the metropolitan spaces, for the real lives of millions and millions of people.